Happy Friday, everybody. We almost made it to the weekend, and a drop-dead gorgeous weekend indeed is coming our way for Easter 2019. It is Friday, the 19th day of April 2019. Good Friday to you, and I mean that in more ways than one. Got a great show for you. It's Friday. That's the five-star show day of the week. As you well know, we have a pattern that we have established around here. For Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, we're here on Mondays. We work. We don't work real hard. And the show's not very good, except for the guest element portion. They always seem to bail me out. Tuesdays are like Monday. Same deal. Wednesday, we lean forward a little bit. We put in some sort of concerted effort to put together a decent show. It oftentimes doesn't happen, but at least we're making the effort on Wednesday. Thursday, we tie up all the loose ends and put together a 4-star show for you. And then on Friday, it's a 5-star show. As we look forward to the weekend. It's a busy weekend, lots of things going on all over north central Washington. We'll take a look at the weekend events calendar with Megan McPherson coming up during the newscast. A weather forecast that I think you're really, really going to like. The two nicest days so far this month are going to be back-to-back, and they're this weekend. Can't wait for that. In fact, they've even backed off the wind today. Yesterday at this time, they were predicting super strong winds. We're still going to be breezy at times today, but not as windy as they anticipated. Forecast details are coming up. We got the news. We got just a bunch of sports. Not only the results of yesterday's sports action, but what's going on this weekend. The Mariners should just play all of their games on the road. They seem to play a lot better away from T-Mobile Park. It was a wild game in Anaheim last night. We'll talk about that. Plus, we have the obscure holiday. We have birthdays. We have Today in History. We have Everyone is Entitled to Mike Minotti's Opinion. And yesterday morning, Jessica Johnson and Hank came by. They're regular contributors to the program. She gets one appearance a month, Jessica, to come in and talk about SAGE. The topic of discussion today is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So Jessica Johnson and Hank came by yesterday to pay us a visit. We taped it. We'll show it for you in the second half of the program. And I think we got everything out of the way. We've set the table. So let's take you around north central Washington with our Valley View cameras, courtesy of Localtel Sky-Fi high-speed wireless internet. And we begin, as always, when we can, with the cross camera. All of these views, of course, courtesy of Sky-Fi. This is located directly adjacent to the cross at the very tip of Wenatchee Heights, and the greening of the valley continues. It looks good, and of course with all that sunshine and warm temperatures we're going to have on Saturday and Sunday, the trees are really going to be taking off. I got the tree in my front yard is just starting to bud, but it wants to just explode in color. Hasn't quite happened yet. My guess is by Easter afternoon it will be. Beautiful view of the Wenatchee Valley from an incredible shot there from the tip of Wenatchee Heights. That's the only one I know we're using. From now on, Uriah, the sage of Tunk Mountain, who is in the control room, will decide where we're going from here. And Uriah says it's off to the Apple Annie's camera, beautiful cashmere. Now it takes center stage. We call it the Apple Annie's camera because it's basically on that ridge right above the Apple Annie's campus. Just outside of Cashmere, you can see both the bridges for the most part. You can see Riverside Park, most of beautiful downtown Cashmere, the fruit storage facilities and packing facilities. Good morning, Cashmere. And you can even see Mount Cashmere a little bit in Steins Hill. Good morning, Cashmere. Thanks for starting your day with us here on the NCW Live channel. Camera 3, I almost said 4. Camera 3 is, that's the Waterville camera because I can see Waterville off in the distance. Am I correct, Uriah? I'm getting the thumbs up from Uriah. Yeah, that's a cool view. Still some patches of snow. You can see them in the shadowy parts of the pine trees in Waterville, of course, off in the distance there. The lovely hamlet of Waterville. Incredible view there. Just nuts. Beautiful shot. Finally, camera 4. Let's go say hi to Hose Landing, I want to say. Is that correct, Uriah? That is, Uriah says, I believe so. He's supposed to know. That looks like Hose Landing to me. That's got to be Hose Landing. Looking to the south, obviously, because you can just make out the Wenatchee Valley on the far left-hand side of your screen. All those orchards hanging in there, ready to start growing the cherries and the apples and the peaches and the pears and the pumpkin pies. Yeah, getting ready to have another good growing season, we hope here. We want good growing and no fires. That's our goal for summer 2019. We'll see if that pans out. Thank you very much, Uriah, and good stuff. And thank you, Localtel Sky-Fi high-speed wireless towers for those incredible high-definition cameras. 6 minutes after the hour from the National Weather Service. Take a look at your forecast and get ready to smile, folks, because it's looking good. Today, going to be cloudy. Not too bad. We'll take that. High about 69. We are looking at a little bit of wind today. Wind to be west wind, 5 to 10 miles an hour. It'll pick up to about 11 to 16 miles an hour in the afternoon. Gusts about 20 to 25 miles an hour. So they've backed off on the wind velocity quite a bit. Not going to be nearly as windy as I thought it was going to be. All of this is because there is a cold front that's sweeping through the inland northwest, but is moving very rapidly. And we say cold front, that 69-degree forecast high for today is actually about what we hit yesterday. So you can take that with a certain grain of salt. And then look at the weekend. Lots of sunshine Saturday, very little wind, high of 68, wind northwest wind about 9 miles an hour. A perfect day to fly a kite. You want that wind right about 9 or 10 miles an hour to fly a kite, and that's just absolutely awesome. Easter Sunday, sunshine, 70 degrees. I love it. We're looking at 71 with some sunshine on Monday, sun and cloud, kind of a mixed deal. Partly sunny Tuesday, 73. Wednesday, partly sunny, 72. I got no complaints at all. All the way to, we're going to jump all the way to Thursday. Now, this is, of course, they have to use their long-term computer model, so it's not necessarily locked in stone. But on Thursday, it's the first day of the 100th Washington State Apple Blossom Festival, and that is about as perfect a weather forecast as you can ask for. Thursday, sunshine at 69. Look at all those, just lovely. I can look at that. Get out and enjoy this weekend. And of course, wherever you go this weekend, don't forget to take us along, because we're reportable here at the NCW Life Channel. That is your forecast from the National Weather Service. We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll fill your head full of the information you need to get your Friday going. The news is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley Live this morning from Studio 2 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life Channel.
Moving doesn't have to be back-breaking, stressful work. And I don't want you to make a move that way ever again.
Traditionally, you would rent a truck. You would load up your stuff. You would rent a storage unit. You would transport it. And finally, you would unload your stuff yourself. You don't have to lift a finger. We bring the mobile storage unit to you. We drop it off. Then one of our trusted packers can load it for you. We come pick it up and store it securely for you. We bring it back to you. No hassle, no stress.
Hi, I'm Jim Heinlein, agent here at Senior Insurances of North Central Washington, where we help our clients navigate the Medicare world. One of the things we really enjoy doing is teaching our clients about their rights. Like, did you know that if you have a traditional Medicare supplement, you can change that monthly all year long, regardless of prior health conditions? So if you'd like to know more about your options with Medicare, you can visit us at one of our 5 local offices, as well as give us a call at 888-2600.
I guess I'm back. It's 9 minutes after the hour on this Friday. There goes our 5-star program. Fair skies, 50 degrees, mostly cloudy, a little breezy today. Highs will be in the upper 60s, and just a beautiful, sunny, mild weekend heading our way for North Central Washington. Here's what's making headlines. A significant amount of cash seized in 2 drug busts by the Columbia River Drug Task Force is apparently missing. This is according to Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett. This was a press release we received yesterday afternoon. He said the Thurston County Sheriff's Office has been asked to investigate. The April 3rd raids at a Cashmere Street home in Wenatchee and in the 800 block of the Malaga-Alcoa Highway netted what was reported to be 2 pounds of cocaine and more than $80,000 in cash. But Burnett said the evidence package was later found to have closer to $68,000. 10 law enforcement agencies were involved in the investigation that led to the raids. Burnett says there will be no further comments from these agencies until the investigation is completed. Well, the latest real estate snapshot for the Wenatchee Valley for the month of March shows that the median sales price is up once again compared to last year. This is according to Pacific Appraisal Associates. The median price in the Wenatchee market, $336,500. That's up 7% over last year's $315,000 price. However, the average sales price for a home in March stayed about the same as it was in 2018 at $350,989. That's up only $424 compared to this time last year. Total home sales and active listings are down compared to last year. In March of this year, 70 homes were sold. That's down 16% compared to March of last year. That's when 83 homes were sold. There were 91 active home listings last month. That's down 6% compared to March of 2018 when there were 97 active listings. Well, a lot of water has flowed through Rocky Reach Dam since its construction over 50 years ago. The dam's visitor center was created in 1962 to help tell the story of the Columbia River and hydroelectric power. The story hasn't changed over the years, but the way it is being told is evolving, starting with the renaming of the visitor center to the Rocky Reach Discovery Center. NCW Life Channel senior news correspondent Steve Hare has the story.
The name change is the first step in a planning process that will lead to a more interactive, hands-on interpretive center. Debbie Gallagher manages the PUD's visitor services.
So we have tried a lot of different things over the last 14 years, and finally this project came along where we can take parts of the Museum of the Columbia, move it into the Discovery Center, which we rebranded last year, and now when the families come, they're going to be able to touch, they're going to be able to feel, they're going to be able to experience all this stuff that currently they don't have the capability of doing. Really, the only interactive that we have is out on the south balcony where they can turn the crank and they can light up the light bulbs, and that's it. So now we're going from a museum that it's a beautiful museum. It is, and people love that museum. But we're going to go from a museum that you stand and read to a museum that's going to be full of energy, children running and having experiences with their families. It's going to be great.
Gallagher and Discovery Center project manager Casey Hall updated the commissioners on the planned changes at their Monday meeting. Commissioners will be asked to approve adding $876,000 to the project at its April 29th meeting. Funds for the total proposal of $5.8 million would come from a mix of public power benefit, capital and operations, and maintenance budgets. Steve Hare, NCW Life News.
Thank you very much, Steve. The general fishing season for the state of Washington doesn't begin for another week, but kids get an early start this Saturday at Rock Island with an event that, according to Mayor Randy Agnew, has been going on for over 20 years.
I believe one of our council members, Ray Pearson, got it started 20-some years ago, and it's been an annual event every year since. The whole town gets together and chips in. I've got a list of the sponsors. It's April 20th. From 8 to noon, and the Rocktown Market, Dad's Country Store, BJ's, R&S Vending, the Rock Bar and Grill, Real Homes, which is John Port, Wenatchee Ski Club, Dave Peterson, Lamb Weston is bringing a fry truck. If you like French fries, it's wonderful. They came last year. The Rock Island Food Bank, they do all the work, cooking the food. We have about 500 hot dogs, so you got hot dogs and French fries. The Sportsman Club, they provide all the fishing poles and gear for the kids. Duffin's Coffee Shop, we got a new coffee shop in Rock Island. And Glazed Donuts will be providing the donuts for in the morning.
It's also fun to watch the kids that have never fished before go out there, and then we get this thing on the end of the line to kind of freaking out, like, what do I do? And Dad's like, pull it in.
The fun begins at 8 o'clock, runs until noon. It's for kids 15 or under 15 years of age, and best of all, it's absolutely free. And finally, what's happening this weekend? Mother Nature is going to give us a gorgeous weekend. There is a lot going on. Pay attention. There's going to be a test later on with our weekend event calendar. Here's Megan McPherson.
Here's a look at what's on tap this weekend around the Wenatchee Valley. This Saturday is the Sustainable Wenatchee Earth Day Fair from 10 to 2 in the local Event Center at Pybus Public Market. The fair features nearly 20 educational and interactive booths from a variety of local organizations, plus fun kids activities. Learn about the NCW Eco Challenge and get registered. Screen print a There Is No Planet B Saddle Rock t-shirt. Bring your own to screen print or buy a new eco-friendly shirt. Get free drip coffee from Cafe Columbia, but only if you bring your own cup. You can also check out one of the 6 short presentations at the Pybus Kitchen throughout the day. Join the Wenatchee River Institute this Saturday in a cleanup of the Wenatchee River to celebrate Earth Day. Everyone will meet at 347 Division Street in Leavenworth at 10:30 a.m. and will work for about 2 hours to remove garbage from along the riverfront trail and riverbank. A limited supply of gloves are available. Chelan is hosting their own Earth Day Fair on Saturday from 10 to 4 at Riverwalk Park. There will be exhibitors, entertainment, free children's activities, arts and crafts, food, and lots more. Walk MS is this Saturday at Walla Walla Point Park. Walk MS teams up with friends, loved ones, and co-workers to change the world for everyone affected by multiple sclerosis. The ceremony starts at noon with the walk kicking off at 1 p.m. The walk is 4 miles total if you do the whole thing, or you can choose to walk 2 miles, or you may even choose not to walk at all and wait for everyone at the finish line. Register online. And finally, the Apple Blossom Festival 100-year documentary premiere is this Saturday night at 7 at the Numerica Performing Arts Center. The Apple Blossom Festival is celebrating its 100th anniversary in 2019 and is producing a documentary film presented by Stamilk Growers as a way to honor this milestone. Wenatchee's own North 40 Productions is responsible for production of the feature film. The documentary follows the 2018 Apple Blossom royalty selection process as well as the events of the 2018 festival. It provides the opportunity to conduct extensive research into the Wenatchee Valley's history in respect to the Apple Blossom Festival, tracking its evolution from 1920 to present day. The film also pays tribute to the people who started the festival and all those who have been involved in the last 100 years. Get your tickets at numericapac.org. For more information on this weekend's events and others, visit the community calendar at ncwlife.com.
That's a lot of stuff going on. Well, it's spring. Spring is, spring has sprung. We're full bore on. And of course, next Thursday, the 100th Washington State Apple Blossom Festival gets going. Our big annual party. Wherever you go this weekend, as I mentioned before, take us along. We're portable. We're streaming all the time. You can watch us on your tablet or on your smartphone, or the case may be. Check it out at ncwlife.com. ncwlife.com. It's also a great website just to find out what's going on. We got a weather forecast, we got our news, we got sports, we have archive programs. It's a pretty good little website. ncwlife.com. We also have a Facebook page. You want to slide on by and check that out. Be sure to like us. We love to hear from you guys, our viewers, and we're much appreciative. And we've also gotten some pretty good news tips down the line from you fine folks. We always appreciate that. It is 17 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a break. When we come back, a whole bunch of sports, an adult portion, so kids, leave the room. Sports is 1 minute away. We'll be right back.
Transform your windows with a variety of colors and styles like the Allure Transitional Window Covering by Lafayette Interior Fashions. Hi, this is Darren with Mini Blinds and More. We can install the latest and greatest in technology to open and close your blinds with only a touch of a button. From the largest windows in your home to room darkening shades for the bedroom. From stylish shades for your entertainment room to custom blinds for those hard-to-fit places. We have a solution for all of your window covering needs. We offer a variety of window coverings from Lafayette Interior Fashions. Call us today. We are Mini Blinds and More, your local blind store.
No matter what the season is, the weather is always fine at Wenatchee Valley Mall. Come explore the stores today. Wenatchee Valley Mall in East Wenatchee and online at WenatcheeValleyMall.com. Welcome back. 19 minutes after the hour. Let's talk sports. Mariners blew a 10-2 lead last night in Anaheim, but they've won anyway. They squeezed out an 11-10 victory. Jay Bruce, the hero, his RBI base hit in the top of the ninth inning. Got the job done. This was a wild game. Seattle built an early lead, 3-run home run, and another 2-run home run by Ryan Healy, and a 3-run shot by Omar Narvaez. King Felix looked great. Cruised through the first 6 innings. He allowed just 2 runs, 7 hits, 3 strikeouts. Everything's looking good, and then here came the 7th inning. Oops. Hernandez pulled. He gave up a leadoff base hit and an RBI double. He was replaced by R.J. Alaniz. LA tagged him for a 2-run home run by Cole Calhoun, then 2 RBI doubles and a 2-run base hit. Then he was replaced. Brandon Brennan came on, threw a wild pitch. That allowed a run to score. He got the final out, but 7 runs had scored when it was all said and done. And Seattle's lead had shrunk all the way down to 10-9. David Fletcher homered off the second pitch thrown by Anthony Swarzak in the 8th. That tied the game at 10. And then the 9th, Mitch Haniger got aboard with a 1-out base hit, stole second with a couple of outs. Bruce followed with a walk to Edwin Encarnacion and an RBI left single to left. Has scored Mitch Haniger. The M's back on top, 11-10. Roenis Elias worked 4 batters in the bottom of the 9th. He got his 3rd save. Seattle's 6-game losing streak is over. Whew. Wow, crazy game. The series, by the way, continues tonight in Anaheim. They'll get going a little after 7 o'clock. Marco Gonzalez will go against Felix Pena. Seahawks, their schedule is out, not only the preseason schedule, but the regular season schedule. We're just 112 days away from Seattle's first preseason game at CenturyLink Field, the Denver Broncos. On August 8th, they'll play at Minnesota. On the 18th, in LA against the Chargers on the 24th, and they'll host Oakland. On the 29th, the regular season starts at home, September 9th against Cincinnati. They'll play at Pittsburgh, host New Orleans, travel to Arizona for the rest of September. October looks like this. They host the Rams, then they play at Cleveland, they host the Ravens, and they travel to Atlanta. Tampa Bay comes to Seattle on November 3rd. Then the Hawks begin a stretch of 4 consecutive nationally televised games. November 11th, San Francisco. November 24th at Philadelphia. December 2nd against the Vikings. Then December 8th at the Rams. The Seahawks finish the season at Carolina December 15th, and they host Arizona on the 22nd, and the 49ers on the 29th. By the way, you can download the season schedule by going to Seahawks.com. The Cascade boys soccer team took a big step towards winning the Caribou Trail League regular season championship last night, a 1-0 win over Kashmir. The Kodiaks improved to 5-0 in league play with the win. The Bulldogs fell to 5-2. They only have 1 league match remaining. Chelan, by the way, solidified itself in 3rd place with a 2-1 victory over Elmac. Les Schwab Prep baseball scoreboard. Chelan remained unbeaten in CTL play, a 15-2 win over Cascade, and Waterville Mansfield's 2-game winning streak came to an end with a non-league 20-7 loss to Elmira Cooley Heartline. The Waterville Mansfield girls winning streak reached 4 games yesterday. They swept Soap Lake, winning the opener 17-zip, taking the nightcap 11-1. On the Les Schwab tennis scoreboard from Thursday, West Valley swept Eastmont 6-1 on the boys' side, 7-0 on the girls' side. The Kashmir boys beat Cascade 5-0. We don't know how the girls did. And the Chelan boys and the girls swept Omak. The Eastmont track team fared pretty good in Big 9 track meet at Zeffel Stadium in Yakima yesterday. Wildcat boys came out on top of Davis and Moses Lake, but they were edged out by Eisenhower by 3 points. The Eastmont girls showed well. They beat Davis, but they lost to Ike and Moses Lake. Coming up on the prep soccer schedule, Eastmont hosts Wenatchee, the Battle of the Bridge tonight, 7 o'clock, Wildcat Stadium. We will have the game live. Sebastian Moraga and Matt Wiesen right here on the NCW Live channel. Tomorrow, Brewster hosts Kashmir. Pateras plays at Manson. They get going at 11 and 1 o'clock. It's Lakeside out of 9 Mile Falls. We'll be at Chelan. Baseball, Wenatchee hosts a doubleheader. Big 9 baseball, historic recreation park today against Moses Lake. First pitch for game 1 is at 4 o'clock. Tomorrow, 4 doubleheaders. Okanagan hosting Kashmir. Manson's at Bridgeport. Liberty Bell hosts Waterville Mansfield. They're all going at 11 a.m. at noon. It's Over Lake at Cascade. High school softball. Wenatchee travels to Moses Lake today. First of 2 games get going at 4 o'clock on Saturday. Kashmir hosts Okanagan. Manson's at Bridgeport. At 11 o'clock, it'll be Winthrop. Liberty Bell will take on Waterville Mansfield in Winthrop for the first of a couple of games. Chelan will host New Sac Valley in a doubleheader starting at 1 o'clock. The Wenatchee Valley Thunder Boys lacrosse team has 2 games over 2 days. They travel to Hermiston tonight, 7 o'clock start, then they'll host Stanwood tomorrow. Leave off to field at the Apple Bowl at 2 in the afternoon. There are some large track meets on the docket for tomorrow. Wenatchee will be in Walla Walla, a town so nice they named it twice. It's the Blue Devil Legends Invite. Cascade, Kashmir, and a host of other schools will be in Quincy for the Quincy Invite. At 10:30, Chelan will be over in Snohomish for the Nike Eason Invitational at 11. At noon, Eastmont and a bunch of other teams will assemble in Lake Stevens for the Viking Classic. After a week off, the Wenatchee Valley Skyhawks back at it. American West Football Conference indoor football. They will be in Reno to take on the Express tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. The Wenatchee Marathon highlights the weekend of sports events that are going on in downtown Wenatchee. There's a full marathon, a half marathon, a 10K. You can run, you can walk. It starts and finishes in downtown Wenatchee, right outside the Numerica Performing Arts Center. They'll also be using the Apple Capital Loop Trail, so be on the lookout for runners and walkers there. The Senior Softball League have their kickoff tournament Saturday and Sunday at Walla Walla Point Park. And the annual Walk MS to find a cure for multiple sclerosis tomorrow at noon at Walla Walla Point Park. Those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Friday. I'm tempted to crack open this Pepsi and take a swig right now. I need a break, but we need to move forward. It's the obscure holiday, and today is National Garlic Day, always celebrated on April 19th. Of course, garlic it wards off evil spirits. That's what garlic is there for. Garlic is amazing. It's a vegetable and it's a herb. It's used in recipes around the world. It's grown all over the world. It's very affordable. As a medicinal herb, it's really good for you. It helps fight off flus and colds. It lowers your blood cholesterol. It reduces the buildup of plaque in your arteries. You can use it for all kinds of treatments. They use it for toothaches. Celebrate National Garlic Day by putting garlic in everything. I put garlic in almost every dish that I make, be it salad, chili, spaghetti sauce, casseroles. I don't know, you can't go wrong with garlic. And by the way, if you are afraid of garlic, you have aluminophobia, which I thought was afraid of aluminum, but what do I know? Today in history, at 26 minutes after the hour, a couple of royal weddings happened on this date. 249 years ago, April 19th, 1770, Marie Antoinette married Louis XVI of France. This marriage did not work out well for either of them. Maybe it was indicative of the future of what was going to happen with this marriage, is that they weren't together when they got married. It was a proxy wedding. In other words, the two of them weren't in the same room at the same time when the wedding took place. That should have been an omen of things to come. Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI tied the knot, so to speak, on this day 249 years ago. On a much happier note, 63 years ago today, actress Grace Kelly, the daughter of a bricklayer from Philadelphia, had her royal dreams came true. She married Prince Rainier of Monaco in the wedding of the year back in April of 1956. Monaco was nearly bankrupt at the time. They had like no dough, but they accredited over 1,600 journalists to come and cover the event. So the influx of tourists and journalists, they all gathered in that small little Principality of Monaco, and they gambled and they drank for a week, and they did enough of that and lost enough money in Monaco's casinos that by the time the wedding was over, the economy of Monaco had completely recovered. Princess Grace got married 63 years ago today. April 19th, 1775, 244 years ago today, hey, we got ourselves a war. The American Revolutionary War began. The Americans victorious in Concord, the Battle of Lexington and Concord. I'll let you know how this war turns out. I like our chances, though. The Revolutionary War got going 244 years ago today. And on a much more sober note, this is the 24th anniversary of the Oklahoma City bombing. The Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building in downtown Oklahoma City, USA, bombed. 168 people killed. 19 children under the age of 6 were killed in the daycare that was located at the bottom of that building. The Oklahoma City bombing happened on this date 24 years ago today. We have a couple of birthdays to pass along to you. I just dropped my pen. Two actresses. Jane Mansfield, I guess you could say, was an actress. She was a sex symbol. Who's kidding who? Jane Mansfield, not known for her talents, we'll put it that way, but you know, she was a model and an actress. Died in a car crash at the age of 34 in New Orleans back in 1967. Jane Mansfield, born in the state of 1933. And Eleanor Donahue, the American actress, celebrates her 82nd birthday today. Probably best known as the oldest daughter in Father Knows Best back in the 1950s. And then, of course, she was Andy Griffith's girlfriend for about 12 or 14 episodes in the first season of The Andy Griffith Show. She played Ellie Walker, the pharmacist. By the way, Eleanor Donahue was born and raised in Tacoma. Eleanor Donahue, Ron Howard, and Betty Lynn, who played Thelma Lou, are the only 3 surviving cast members left of the Andy Griffith Show. She's 82 years old today. Apple Blossom Festival, less than a week away. And of course, as you well know by now, as you go out and about, you want to check this baby out right here from our friends at Weinstein Beverage. Get a shot of that, you right. Let me move that a little bit. There you go. That is the Pepsi can with the 100th Washington State Apple Blossom Centennial logo as designed by my good friend and classmate, Kyle Barnes. You will see these at convenience stores and grocery stores everywhere. So when you pick up your Pepsi, pick up these specially marked cans, and it's down the road you go. You might want to hold on to a case or two. They might be collector's items. Of course, Weinstein Beverage Pepsi-Cola has been a sponsor of the Apple Blossom Festival since 1983. Once again this year, they will be sponsoring Youth Day at the park. So when you're out and about and you're buying your Pepsi product and you're stocking up for the big party coming up next week, pick up the Pepsi can with the special Apple Blossom logo on it. All right, it's the bottom of the hour. Everyone is entitled to Mike Minotti's opinions. Up next, I'm in conversation with Jessica Johnson, the executive director of SAGE. And yep, she brought Hank along. That conversation is coming up. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
My name is Lacey Haggerty, and I am a nurse midwife with Columbia Valley Community Health. I love all aspects of my job because it is a profession that's very committed to empowering women to make decisions in their health care that feel best for them. It's incredibly valuable to me as a midwife that I get to take care of women throughout their whole lifespan. I hope to see you at a future visit because I know you'll love having midwifery care.
Corey here from Rose Tractor, your local Cub Cadet dealer. We've got the all-new Cub Cadet Ultima zero-turn mowers in stock, and they are awesome. The Ultima is like no other zero-turn you've seen. With a box tube frame and available Kawasaki engine, it has unmatched strength and performance, cutting up to 50% faster than lawn tractors. You have to see the Cub Cadet Ultima to believe it. Come on down and experience the Cub Cadet Ultima today.
I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Life Sports.
I'm NCW Life News Director Steve Hare.
Catch us on LocalTel Channel 12.
You can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
Where we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Life channel.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
When Mike leaves town, it's a little scary. You never know who might be outside. But we feel safer inside knowing our home is being monitored by a local company. I can check our alarm from just about anywhere, so when we get home, I know it's safe.
Protect your family and save money with a local company. Switch your current security monitoring to Guardian Services from LocalTel. Call Guardian Security from LocalTel now or visit localtel.net to learn more.
Is this really what we're gonna do on our girls' night out?
We should go to Club Crow. The bar and grill in Kashmir?
Yeah, let's go.
Looking for a fun-filled, friendly hometown atmosphere? Club Crow Bar and Grill in Kashmir is the place to be. Hi, this is Justin. Here at Club Crow, we have full bar and restaurant, live music, a dance floor, pool tables, pull tabs, and live jam sessions the first Sunday of every month. Club Crow in Kashmir, the coolest place in town.
This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. I've been commenting on clothes and how people dress lately, and I was reminded of that slang meaning of the term suit, as in he's just a suit. Now, that's just become a derogatory term for an authority figure. Now, when NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell proposed a new rule regarding personal fouls, former Seahawks cornerback Richard Sherman said it sounded like something like this was something that somebody who's never played the game would say. He's just a suit, Sherman said. And we all knew what Sherman meant, too. Now, maybe the saying that clothes make the man is taking on a new meaning. Huh? Huh? This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
There's no substitute for the power of cable TV advertising. With Solion Cable TV advertising, you can reach your target audience right here in North Central Washington. We understand their viewing habits and can precisely target your customers on great cable networks like these. Call Solion Broadcasting today and let us show you how to put your business message right in front of thousands of prospects at a very affordable price. Solion Broadcasting, 509-888-2020.
Hi, Justin here, owner of Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere. Club Crow is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue. We are your one-stop bar and grill, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Looking for a fun night out? Join us at Club Crow Saturday nights. We have live bands to rock the night away. Club Crow is bringing comedy to Cashmere. Check out our Facebook page for upcoming dates. Live jam session first Sunday of every month. Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
I'm working today.
I have got some work to do today.
Don't forget, I've got some work for you today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Thanks.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in our community.
New beginnings feel great, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Be a job creator. Goodwill. There's more behind the store.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support. Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. We're all smiles here in Studio 7 in downtown Wenatchee because not only is Jessica Johnson here, the executive director of SAGE, but Hank is here as well, our favorite animal to be on this show. And I've had a few. There it is. And we have our very own Hank Cam for the first time, Jessica. There he is.
Look, and he's even got his name there.
Yeah, we made that little order for Hank.
Yes.
And he already got a treat. Jane, our director of First Impressions, gave Hank a little treat when he showed up in our office here earlier today. We'll talk a little bit about Hank, but let's talk about, I haven't seen him for about a month, and Jessica comes on about once a month, and whatever's SAGE related is going on. Our topic today will be sexual, help me out.
Assault Awareness Month.
Sexual Assault Awareness Month, which is this month, the month of April. But before we get into that, I haven't seen you in about a month, so what you been up to? What's going on?
Oh, nothing. I'm kidding. Well, we've been busy promoting our Sexual Assault Awareness Month for April. It's also Child Abuse Awareness Month. I get to come and talk about the funnest things.
Yeah.
So, but we've been busy at SAGE doing lots of different things. We currently have a shoe drive going on. So if people have shoes they'd like to get rid of, call us. We'll make that happen. We also have just been busy with clients. There's people coming through the door, and I like to refer to this time as my grant season because I have like 5 grants due in the next week and a half. So,
do you get any help writing those grants? Because writing grants is complicated. It's time consuming.
It can be.
You have to be precise, right?
Yeah, I do get some help. Staff is really good about getting me the stuff that I need, and then also my financial manager. I don't math well, so she is the math person that does all the budgeting and stuff like that. And so between the two of us, I think we make a pretty good team.
How do you know what grants are out there to apply for?
Well, we're lucky enough that we're 100% grant funded, which sometimes is not lucky. Let me just throw that out for you. But the grants that we apply for every year are because we've been doing these services so long in the Valley. And so it's nice when they say, hey, here's your DV grant. You need to write for it, but this is how much you need to write. So when you get that number, when you're pretty sure that that's the number, then you know that at least you're probably more than likely going to be funded for that. But they always change just enough that you have to go through and make sure everything is good and right font, everything like that. So you just can't copy and paste from one to the...
Yeah, they know.
Yes, they do. And that's their prerogative. If they want me to jump through hoops to get their money, then I will.
Is it one of those things where you aim for a pie in the sky and you're happy with what they give you kind of thing? You always shoot for more than you know you're going to get?
For our main 4 core grants, we just write for the money that they tell us to write for. But other grants, like the Unmet Needs Grant and some other like foundation grants, like we've gotten a Mary Kay grant before, that's helped with our shelter and things like that. Those kinds of things, then we aim high and be happy with whatever we get. So, and also the Women's Service League, they always they've been so generous to us in the past, and we always apply for their grants too. So. And it's amazing to see that there's some applications that are just 1 page and you're done, and not really hard. And then there's others that are like 50 pages, and I feel like I'm back in school writing a term paper again. So, but at least I don't have to go research it. So
that's good news.
Yeah,
That's
for the
good
most
news.
part.
How much of this requires a follow-up from the grant giver? Like we have a one-time grant, and I got your application, Jessica, and I like Sage and I like what you're doing. Can we talk about this a little bit more? Is that also part of that grant thing on some of these one-off grants?
Sometimes, yes. It just depends. Like for our city grant, we have to go through and do lots of different things. Like we attend an RFP meeting, request for proposal meeting that kind of gives us the gist of what we're supposed to be writing about. And then we also talk about, they'll come in and interview us. For our state and grants, they oftentimes want data fed into our system that we have. And I have a really great person who takes care of that for me. And then we also have site visits and accreditation visits. So it's not just all just writing the grant and then it's good to go. I mean, there's a lot of other things that go into it.
And you probably have powerful allies and people who volunteer for SAGE, who work for the Crisis Hotline, or whatever the case may be, that have been through the system. They've gotten through the system. This terrible time in their life is now in their rearview mirror, and you can say, here's a success story that SAGE has been a part of.
Exactly, and that's actually one of the fields that we have to fill in for a lot of our different grants. It's the system that's called InfoNet that nobody will know about, but we feed all of our info into that network, and there are success stories. There are what were your challenges, what would you do differently. So there's lots of different steps to that, and there's also some narrative reports that we have to fill out. And it just depends on the grant. I mean, some are like, here's your money, thanks, go forth and conquer. And then there are others who are like, we want to know this, this, and this by this date, and then this, and this.
And that's understandable, because they're giving you money, and they expect a return on investment, even though that investment is people and stuff like that.
And that's totally the truth. They expect that, and we're happy to give that to them. And it also shows us we're able to kind of see where we're at. Do we need to hire more advocates? Are we okay? What our trends are. And our trends are up right now. So. Yeah,
the next question, how are you're busy?
We're busy.
Okay, which, again, as I mentioned before,
it's not,
sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. It does, but we're glad to be here for the Wenatchee Valley and Chelan and Douglas County. So
how did you get the money? Well, I know this, and Jessica knows this, but maybe our viewers don't. The money for Hank didn't come cheap.
No.
Is Hank a grant baby, or was that something that you, so to speak?
So to speak. So we got Hank from Assistance Dogs Northwest, and they're a really great organization that is from that is a subsidiary of Hawaii, Assistant Dogs of Hawaii. Okay. And so Hank himself was free, but we had to apply for and make sure that we had all the stuff. We had to put up a special fence at my house so that Hank could go and do whatever he needs to do outside, those kinds of things. So there were costs incurred, and then just the upkeep on Hank now is what we have been writing into the budget. But I would say the most significant cost that we had was they had to send me to human school. I call it human school. Hank came trained. I had to go do that, and that was a very intense week of I studied. I would go to class, we would bond, we would do our different commands, and then I would go home at a motel and study all night and get up the next morning and take tests. And not only did we have to do a written test, but we also had to do a practical command test. And since we've had Hank, we've done we did a midterm and then a final exam. So, and now we're good to go. But still, it's upkeep, and it's something that we have to do. And he's a line item in some of our grants. So.
And although you wouldn't know it by having Hank just sit here, Hank serves a very, very important purpose in the world of SAGE.
He does. he can see any kind of victim, but his specialty is kids. So when we have to do forensic interviews with kiddos who are coming in to talk about some really hard things, physical abuse, sexual abuse, maybe they've been a witness to domestic violence, those types of things, Hank has a special command called Snuggle, and we have a couch in the interview room, and he gets up on the couch and he snuggles with the kids, and you can just see those kids relax as much as they can. They start, I don't think they even know it, they start petting his head and then playing with his ears, and you just can kind of see their body language just kind of, relax a little bit. Because those questions that they get asked are really, really hard, and they're awful, and Hank's there to help them. And then once Hank has been acquainted with them, he can follow them all through the system. So if they do have a trial that does come out of this, then the kiddo can go in and testify, as long as it's been okayed by the judge, to testify with Hank in the witness box. So
he's a calming influence in a place that the last place these kids want to be is in that interview room on a couch or in a witness chair in court. Hank makes it that much easier.
Right. And like I was saying, people don't know that he's there. Yeah. I mean, that's his job. I mean, everybody's like, well, I wish I had Hank's job. Well, probably not. It is pretty emotionally draining. I can tell when he's had more than 1 or 2 interviews in a day. But he also this is what he's supposed to do. This is his job. So
you sent me a link to a couple of websites that threw a bunch of stats out at me that just made me really depressed.
Sorry.
About the topic at hand, which is why Jessica is here. Some of the numbers were, well, you have numbers right here for what we're talking about. You want to throw them out there?
Oh, sure, because I always love being the bearer of great news.
It's the truth. People need to understand
the truth.
that. Yeah.
So, this month is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. It's also Child Abuse Awareness Month. Out of every 1,000 rapes, 995 perpetrators will walk free. So we know that this is the most underreported crime that we have across the board, probably across the nation, across the world. People don't want to report this because they're afraid that nobody will believe them. Mm-hmm. And so, out of those 5 perpetrators will serve time in jail out of 1,000 rapes that are reported. And we think rapes are underreported by 70 or 80%.
Wow.
So, you look at that and you say, why? And that's why.
Yeah.
And the reason is because sexual assault is the only crime where we ask questions like, what were you wearing? Where were you at? How much did you have to drink? Why were you there? Why weren't you more cognitive? Did you say yes at any point in time? And we don't ask those types of questions when somebody gets in a car wreck. We don't ask them why were they driving over the bridge. Yeah. I mean, that's not something we ask. So the victim is re-victimized more than once through this process, especially if it's a rape, it's a sexual assault that includes rapes, because there's all sorts of different sexual assaults we can talk about. But to report that, they go to the hospital. They have to go through a very intense exam. It's very personal. It's not something that you would want to do. And they have to answer hard questions for the nurse examiner. If they choose to report, then they answer those questions for the officer who's there. And then they answer those questions again for the detective.
Right.
And then
you have to relive it over and over and over again.
Probably the prosecutor and probably the defense attorney and maybe even the judge and the jury. I mean, so you're talking about 5, 6, 7, 8 times that you have to talk about this. Something that has happened to you where all your control was stripped away, and they're still asking you, why did it happen? Why is it your fault? And the truth is, it's never the victim's fault at all.
But
ever.
It's certainly sold the other way, isn't it?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. I was raped and I was in the wrong is an insanely stupid way to think it through, but that's what it is.
That's what happens.
And of course, the idea is, well, here, I'll show you this right here. You brought me this.
Right.
It's just start by believing.
Right.
Start by believing. I was raped. I was assaulted. I was sexually assaulted. Whatever the case may be. Because if you don't believe them, then assume the truth.
Exactly. And oftentimes what happens is that the victim will report to a friend or a family member first, because they're trying to gauge what kind of reaction they're going to get from that. And if people start asking those questions and they're not supportive and they don't just say, I'm really sorry that happened to you, that was awful, it's not something that should have happened to you, and it's not your fault. How can I help you? I believe you. Then, if they go through the litany of questions like, what were you wearing? What were you drinking? Why were you there? All those kinds of things. Then they feel like, well, if my family and friends are not going to believe me, how am I going to convince the police? And then in turn, how am I going to, follow? And they are not thinking, they're just thinking this horrible thing happened to me. Somebody took away my power in the most intimate way, and I have to deal with this now. And they're not even thinking about like prosecution or anything like that. They're just thinking about what's going to happen next. How am I going to survive? They're really in that, that fight or fright phase of.
Or they don't want to deal with it at all.
Right.
Period.
They want to just be like, no, I don't want to do it. And sometimes, sexual assault will happen because somebody has been drugged or alcohol has been involved, and they feel like that's their fault because they weren't smart enough to catch it, or it happens, but it usually happens by somebody that they know, and that makes it even worse.
How important is it when this happens, if you were raped or sexually assaulted, that you need to report this as soon as possible? Not only from an evidence gathering standpoint, you talked about having to go to the hospital and all that stuff, but just to start the process of dealing with it. Because you say, about 2 months ago I was sexually assaulted or raped, and then you're rolling the boulder up the hill, are you?
Right. Well, sort of. So first of all, I would encourage survivors to realize that you should not do anything that you're not comfortable with. So if you're not ready to report and you're not ready to talk about it, don't. If at some point you think that this is something that you might want to report, there are things that you should do. You can call SAGE. We will meet you up at the hospital. We can make sure that you get everything that you need. We'll advocate for you while you're there. You can do a rape kit, a sexual assault kit, and they will save it under a number for you, I think, for a limited amount of time so that you have some time to talk about it. There's some really great legislation that just went through that removed the statute of limitations on sexual offenses, especially surrounding children.
I saw that. That's good news.
That is really good news. So you could have that done, and some of the things that we would remind you not to do if you haven't already done that is, we have a new brochure that was just put out, but is like, don't shower, don't use the restroom if you can, don't brush your teeth, don't comb your hair, which is all hard things not to do after something like that has happened to you. What do you want to do? You want to go home and clean yourself. You want to forget it. Sometimes if you're thinking that you might want to report at a later date, that's something that they should refrain from.
But the most important thing, we can't stress this enough, is tell somebody.
Right, tell somebody.
That's number one, tell somebody.
Yeah, and honestly, sometimes it's easier to tell somebody that you don't know. So call our crisis line. We can help you. We're not going to tell you what to do, but we are going to say, we're going to ask you questions. We're going to try to figure out what is the best way for you to get the help that you need. So
you brought some other stuff because we're almost out of time. Is there some other? Here, I can get this if you want.
Those are some sexual assault awareness.
Okay. Posters.
Posters, yes.
Okay.
And it's not the same campaign as Start by Believing. If people are interested in the Start by Believing campaign, they can go and get one of these signs off of their website. It's startbybelieving.org, I believe. And they can take a photo and post it on social media. That would be great. Drop their sign off at SAGE because we have a mural going with all the signs. The Wenatchee Police Department, they did those in shifts and posted it on their social media, so that was pretty cool. And then we have lots of different posters for Sexual Assault Awareness Month that just talk about what consent is. It talks about what, how you are in charge of your body, and nobody should be able to tell you that. And one other thing that I would say really quick is that I know a lot of people are afraid about having somebody accuse them of sexually assaulting. And what we know about that is that you have a better chance as a man to be sexually assaulted yourself than to be falsely accused.
Okay.
So that's a sobering thing too. And it happens to men, it happens to women, it happens to children, it happens to everybody. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. There was a show that was going on, an art artist show that was going on that showed the outfits that the people were wearing, and some of them were pajamas. Some of them, they're not the sexy clothes that you would think that that caused this, because that's not a cause.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It's Jessica, so we talk about pretty sobering stuff. You want to end on a good note? Let's end on something positive here.
Yeah, so next week we have, on the 24th, we have a brown bag where we're going to be talking about this stuff, which is not sobering, but the 25th,
yeah.
we have business after hours, so you can come down and meet Hank, get a tour of our building, see what we've got going. And on the 30th, we're going to have a panel kind of to wrap up the Sexual Assault Awareness Month, too. So if you have more questions, it's a good way to be involved. Come meet Hank, see what we're all about. Just look in on us. And, we're here for everybody. So all of our services are free and confidential. And, we just want what's best for our valley. So we want to provide them with great service. That's
And
who we
Sage
are.
does exactly that. The crisis line never closes.
No.
Anytime you need them, give them a call. 24/7, 365, they are there. And again, when somebody tells you they were raped or sexually assaulted, the first thing you do is start by believing.
Exactly.
And it gets easier if you believe. It really does. It's good to see you, Jessica.
It's nice to see you,
See you,
too.
Hank. I guess
Yeah.
I'll see you and Hank in about a month or so.
Yeah,
We'll make
sure.
sure, anytime you have an open invitation.
Thank you.
So I think we will cake up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel. We'll be right back.
Life is unpredictable, and risks are part of business. But what is important is how well prepared we are to handle the unpredictability and take the risks. We provide trusted choices for insurance, health insurance and Medicare, life, disability, and long-term care, homeowners and renters, contractors, general liability, equipment and bond, farm, crop and stock, and business insurance.
Spring has arrived here at Town Nissan. So has a new shipment of certified pre-owned vehicles, like this Altima and this Rogue. Each of these vehicles goes through a 167-point inspection. Then we will cover them up to 7 years and 100,000-mile warranty coverage. You'll save thousands on these popular models. How about America's best truck warranty? 5-year, 100,000 miles on the all-new Nissan Titan. Buy smart, own confidence at Town Nissan, behind Costco in East Wenatchee.
I got into medicine because I love it. I have always had this love of the ideal of the family medical provider. I really, really enjoy those kind of visits where it's not a specific problem so much as it is talking about ways to live a healthier, happier life. I'm excited to play a role in the health and wellness of everyone in the Wenatchee Valley. I look forward to seeing you at CVCH.
Boy, am I glad it's Friday. How are you? A couple of minutes left in the program. Dan Kuntz back live here. 50 degrees, fair skies. We'll do one more weather forecast and a good-looking weather forecast for the Easter weekend in just a couple of minutes. But first, some housekeeping. Don't forget we have live soccer tonight. We'll be at Wildcat Stadium in East Wenatchee with the East Mile Wildcats playing host to the Wenatchee Panthers. Big night soccer action. Sebastian Moraga and Matt Weisen will have the call. We'll have it live for you. We'll take to the air at about 6:50. They'll start playing soccer at 7 o'clock. If you can't make it out to Wildcat Stadium, we invite you to watch it in high-definition television right here on the NCW Live channel. I've been teasing you with this all week long. I'm going to tease you one more time. Look at all of these wristbands for the Fantastic Shows Carnival. I'll be giving these away in groups of 4 next Thursday, but how you enter to win these, I'll start telling you on Monday, so don't miss Monday's show. I'll let you know how you can get signed up to enter to win. We're going to have 8 winners. Each of those 8 winners will receive a 4-pack, 4 of these wristbands, but don't forget, you can only use these wristbands between 5:30 and 8:30 on Monday, April 29th at the Fantastic Shows Carnival. So if you can't make that date for whatever reason, I'm just giving you a heads up on that. Let's do the weather forecast one more time for the National Weather Service because it looks so darn good. They backed off on the wind today. Still going to be cloudy, mild, 68 or 69. They were saying yesterday it's going to be very windy. Not so much today. We'll call it more breezy. West wind 5 to 10, increasing to about 11 to 16, 17 miles an hour this afternoon. Gusts above 20, possible at times, but it's not nearly going to be as windy as they thought yesterday at this time. Let's jump ahead to the Easter weekend because does that look gorgeous or what? Lots of things going on tomorrow, Saturday. There'll be sunshine and mild temperatures for everybody. We'll top off at about 68 Easter Sunday. Better yet, sunshine, high of about 70. And all of next week looks good. A couple of clouds here and there. Nice warm temperatures. It looks just about perfect. Of course, Thursday is the opening day of the 100th Apple Blossom Festival. It looks postcard perfect. Absolutely. Everybody have yourself a great weekend. Take us along wherever you go this weekend. We're portable, provided the show isn't canceled. I'll see you Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.